Hey, we're the Infamy team, and we're going to be internally testing some fantasy Valorant stats. If you're interested in testing fantasy Valorant, sign up on our Discord and let us know, and we might include you on this. Otherwise, I'll just have to keep beating these guys every week or every tournament. But yeah, we're just going to be talking about the Valorant. What was it? Masters tournament this past weekend, and kind of our impressions. We've been pretty, I don't want to say anti-Valorant, but skeptical of Valorant in our past videos. You can see Valorant is Valorant trash. I'm pretty sure Blake still thinks it is, but yeah, so that's just where I wanted to start. What did you guys think of? This is kind of the first time we've really dug deep into a Valorant event, so most of us anyway. So, what were your first impressions?
Yeah, my first impression, like going into it, I was like, "Oh, this is it's gonna be slow paced and a drag." But like, I was actually like really excited, in my opinion, from the "Is It Trash" video. Has definitely been changed. It wasn't hard for me to follow along. I thought the spectator client was great. I thought the players and like the energy of the players was great. Just like the back and forth, the storylines, everything was just very exciting. It was a lot more entertaining than I expected it to be, and that was like our main gripe with Valorant, that we thought it would be boring. So
Yeah, the personality's really shown a lot this weekend or the past 2 weekends, I think, and I think that really helped elevate it in our eyes a lot. Blake, what do you think?
I mean, I thought it was a lot more entertaining than I thought it was going to be, like Darren said. But I did have some issues with like the broadcast side that they can refine like later down the line to make it a lot more enjoyable, a lot more at least easy to understand because it seems like there was a lot going on. Like there was a couple Marv plays that just didn't get caught by the broadcast that you just straight up missed. And then like the first round of the finals, the Masters, like they just didn't get the pistol round, the first pistol round, completely missed it. Like not important, but there were some hiccups, and they have like as far as the broadcast goes, they
yeah,
can
but
refine a little bit better and make
the
it even
pistol round
better.
is pretty important because that heavily dictates the next two
yeah,
two to 3 rounds.
It was funny, just like waiting, like Sentinels versus Faze, super hype, and it's like, what? Down
oh,
1-0,
yeah,
Faze,
we're into
okay.
round two.
I beamed in at 4 o'clock and I was like watching, and then it was like 4:07 or something, and the guy was like talking some shit, and then he was like, "Oh shit, we missed the pistol round."
These things happen, my boy.
Yeah, online environment. But I mean, there was another case, like I forget which game. It was like probably I think a lower bracket game where the round counter was off by a round. So it's like it was supposed to be like a
Yeah.
round or two ahead and that lasted
Yeah.
like 3 rounds until they corrected.
Zachary lagged out also.
Yeah.
Nah, I just looked like he was.
Yeah.
No.
Like, I
He
knew.
tweeted out that like his game crashed essentially. For a
Yeah.
bit.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. But like client-wise, the information that they had was easy to follow. I like that you could see like that both sides through walls. That really added to the anticipation and the
When
build-up of.
when the red and green silhouettes happened, I was like,
It's
oh man, I
just
get
shoot
it.
through the wall. Just shoot through the wall.
I mean, I don't know. I've been watching it a little longer, but no, this is I think like the best kind of series and tournament so far, and like the broadcast like spectator stuff, like the UI overlay has changed pretty recently as well. It used to have like all the characters like icons and like their alt shit like up top, like all kind of how Overwatch League has it, like everything is up top. And now like for this one, they kind of brought it down to the sides, and like
Yeah.
kind of gives you the more in-depth breakdowns, like how closer to alt percentage, what guns they have, health and armor and shit. It's a lot more easier to track. I thought it was a great addition.
Yeah, I think in Korea they were putting face cams over the characters.
Mhm.
There was some mixed feedback on Reddit from that, just because some people like it because they want to be able to see their reactions, but others are like want to know who you're playing. And I think the face cams covered up the old charge, so that was a big
Yeah.
no.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
for viewing, I think kind of what Darren alluded to was like it's kind of easy to see where people are. Like it's just like just getting used to always checking that mini map that it is up all the time, like that isn't there for some other esports. So just like seeing the Omen's on hitting a flank or like watching the lurk on C while the rest of their team's on A, and then like seeing where people rotate and such. So just like getting used to like what to look at and like when in between bursts of action. And a thing I think they have above Siege for like spectator wise is like it was a criticism that I had in our first video. It's like, oh, it's like just the map layout. Everything's like one plane. There's no like elevation for the most part, outside of like some boxes and a couple perches. Where Siege, you could have like 3 layers, and you have people shooting down from underneath you and above you. But like spectator wise, it's like super hard to watch until they get their replay system out for people. But it's there's definitely a lot easier.
Yeah, I
to
can
watch.
tell there's a lot of times where they're like, something went down, and the caster's like, well, shit, wish I could
Yeah.
have seen that. Wish we could go back and see what actually went down, but sure, it was crazy.
But like, yeah, you can't be predicting the future. That's just gonna happen. Sometimes you're gonna be on the wrong
like
kid.
two years down the road, maybe when they have more spectator client or spectator spots in the tournament or the in the game for people to like free cam and go like, oh, I want to watch this person, and having that in-game knowledge of like, oh, this is going to happen. So like they would automatically get a camera on 2 players who might be contesting each other. So it's just a matter of time, I think.
Yeah, I think free cam would be huge. Like, I think that's my only complaint is like there were a lot of shots, especially on like the second map in the finals. Like it was just hard to. They're just clipping between like a whole bunch of people looking down a hallway, and it kind of like gets muddled. Like, all right, what perspective am I having? And if they had like a like kind of like how Overwatch does it when they do have their team fights in the replays, you can kind of get a real idea of like the positioning. So it's kind of hard to tell like between the mini map and them cycling through. It was kind of hard sometimes, but overall they did a really good job.
Yeah, but I feel like this is a game where you do want to keep the first person perspective a lot, because you want to see the decision making, the aim, and all that. Like, so it's tough.
And just piggybacking on that, I like for other games like Overwatch, I said like I'd be like a big fan of having like the individual player perspectives, but I think for Valorant, I think I like the overview perspective better than like just seeing one person's point of view, because of the team macro play. You can like see it better and watch it unfold, as opposed to just like sticking to one person who's hugging a corner.
And straight missed the engage. Like they missed the engage like a whole bunch of times. I was like, dude, like you really don't like you watch it on the. I was watching more on the mini map than I was watching the POV of it. It's like, okay, well there was one where Faze rotated around on B on the second map, and it was just like, okay, you're not really seeing that. You're like watching the defender instead of like sticking with the defender on B, they just followed one kid walking all the way around, like slow walking all the way around. I'm like, this is not gonna show you like how to defend or like what's actually gonna happen. It was like all the plays were set up on the mini map, and it's just like it would be good to have at least maybe even some like fixed camera angles if they do it that way also. Like on points.
Yeah, I did think they did get a few pretty cool engages though, like a lot of jet plays that I was like, kind of surprised that they actually got shown. There's one where like someone was jumping on Mame and he just turned around and took the fuck out.
Yeah, but fucking the character play, Face Clan and Sentinels, like I think that like you said, like the crazy jet play was like Faze's go-to thing, and it was like very high risk, high reward for them, in the capacity that like Baby Bay, like when he's pulling it off, it's awesome, but like he's doing the same things. I know I thought about it after the finals ended. He's doing the same things that he would normally do, but like just because he's not hitting the shots, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Because like Blake, Steve, and I were watching it together, and we were like, what is he doing? What is he doing? But like that's what he normally does. He just wasn't hitting it, and it looks completely different when the shots aren't hitting.
Feast or famine.
Yeah, yeah.
My boy was starving.
It was just bad that was their only play. Like, hey, like let baby Bay pop off and get 1 or 2, and then we engage when we have it's like 4 on 2. Like,
yeah, I mean, you saw how how little they were able to do when Baby Bay wasn't popping off in the first, the winners final against Sentinels. He didn't really have any impact, and they just got full canned. But once they got the momentum going in the grand finals, they're looking pretty clean the first half until they bagged him on round 4 and then lost.
Dude, it was
Yeah.
I mean, it was later into that map. To be fair to them, that they were looking pretty competitive.
Yeah, it was like neck and neck until about like round 7 or so, and then they just like took off. They did because
They got wiped 3 times, and then they just the economy game just played them out. Now you're down with pistols. Like, hey, you just like you gave them enough time to come back.
Yeah,
And then they're in the clutch situation with like 10, 11, and you have a pistol round versus everybody's decked out, and you're like trying to like it was rough. You hate to see it.
There was like a lot of times with like again like alluding back to the siege, like the 20-second meta, where it's like you saw sometimes, I think it was Haven or Bind, I can't remember which one, but like you would see like Faze would go try to hit like one site, and then like they get blocked off by some util, and then like they kind of like half-heartedly, they don't commit to like another site till like 20-30 seconds left in the round, and then it's like they just have to like W key in, like, because they don't have time, like they have to at least try to do something. And there's like a lot of, if they got like pressured and like got out of their like kind of groove within a round, you kind of saw them like kind of scramble almost.
yeah, and like on their defense, when we were watching it, it looked more like they were playing offense on defense than when they were playing actually trying to play defense. Like
that was Haven third map. They're down bad, and they were literally just like they were playing defense in their own spawn. Like
in the attacker's spawn.
Sentinels is playing defense in their own spawn against FaZe Clan coming up B. Like, it was not. Like, what's the point of this? Like, for the first 4 rounds.
I think they just needed to. They were just trying to push hard then, and just like they might have fallen back to old tendencies and just been like, well, either we're gonna pop off or die here, so let's try to pop off. So
yeah, you really saw it devolve as a after midway through blind, like it was. You just saw them devolve. The team play, which just wasn't there. They're kind of just like going for frags and to see if they're gonna win the gunfights.
Yeah, it was like Jake said, like once they were like taken out of their element, they just like looked stuck and then fill in for something, and by the time they figured something out, it was too late.
But they're still beating every other team. I don't think they dropped a map to anyone else in the tournament.
I mean,
like, does that speak to like Sentinels being that good, or is that everyone else just being garbage?
I mean, honestly, like
Sentinels definitely on another level.
Yeah. I think it's just they have the team play and the like technical skill. Like they don't miss their shots. Like you look at
I think they just have the best IGL, or at least in the region, with Shazam.
Shazam is really good, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like you saw them, there's one of the last rounds of the finals. I think they were pushing showers, and Baby Bay like. It throws down the smoke, dashes in, and up like goes up. I can't remember. He gets. I think they trade, and then like you just see the rest of Sentinels, like a couple contest the site point, and then like another 2 go around and pincer them. So it's like I kind of think if you want to compare it to like the female Titan in Attack on Titan season 1, when she's just rushing in and they bait her into the big forest. And then she rushes past some trees and the spike barrels. Like you saw them like just pincers Faze when they hard commit with Baby Bay and like dumping all their utility into him getting those opening frags, and then hitting them from the sides and just like
they literally had a deeper playbook than Faze. Like that's what it came down to. Like you saw them run out of steam on the first map. Like they won pistols and then you're up, right? Like, they looked really clean coming in because those entry frags from Baby Bay were working. And then, like, once they figured them out and the game kind of slowed down, you saw them fizzle out. And then you saw, too, like you were saying, like Shazam, especially on blind, you saw how good their rotates were when they would hard engage. Because, like Steve was saying earlier, they would just pick one point and just go right for it, whole team. Like, there was no backing out and going around. Like, you could see the team play, like, if you just looked at the mini map the whole time.
And like Marv kind of had like an off series, like on the games that they weren't dominant, he was popping off on those lurks and like securing those late rotations from the enemy team, but he was just losing the 1v1s or getting caught out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were hunting
definitely a
him.
few key 1v1s he whiffed. But I think they're also sending out like I think Shazam or someone just to like kind of and have phase them like just going out deep on his own and just like getting a trade on someone that just throws off their whole strategy of like we can't really be running and gunning if we're already down one or a key player, so just kind of out like over aggroing them so they can do their aggro.
Yeah, and like Jake was saying too, like you can really like put it on Shazam shot calling because they had like and the Faze's inability to like have different plays because like that was like Marv kept getting caught out because he's 1v2ing kids that are coming from like the other point, whether it even be 2 or 3 different points that they had and getting caught in the back. So like they're free to rotate because there's not anybody with Marv putting pressure on that point. They knew exactly where they were for most of the game is what it looked like. And just getting this kid caught out every single time because they're free to rotate. Like it just it's unfortunate, but I mean like we can say that as like outside objectives. I'm sure it's very different like when you're in the game, but like it's too reliant on winning your fucking hitting your shots every single time.
Do you guys think Faze will be figured out now? Like people will study how Sentinels beat them and will they be able to copy that? And will that style be just not valid? Or are they still just going to out aim everyone?
I think it's going to raise the bar in the level of play because like with other esports, like what happens when like something like this happens is like this team like figures out some kind of strategy, and then I think for like the next couple tournaments it'll be a little bit before people figure it out. But once they do, it'll be just like baseline. Like you're gonna have to be able to like have that entry fragger. Cause like, what if Sentinels gets like a player like Baby Bay on their team that can just like do that on top of like Shazam's shot calling?
I mean, they did. It's
Tens is fucking doing it. Tens is doing it.
Yeah, Tens. But I just like
they can buy him.
Yeah, if he's allowed to stay with them, yeah.
I thought he was like his buyout was like $1 million or something, and now it's going to be even higher from C9. So
Jack could also just like
Shroud is like, do it. Shroud's like, pay him, pay the man and get him because he will make you competitive worldwide.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely think the playstyle is going to become the standard once people figure it out more. Like a lot of people are like, oh, that's not Valorant, but you know, if it works, it works, and you may have to add that to your utility belt.
Yeah, it's literally just another tool in the tool belt, and it's going to be interesting to see how it develops out. Like,
that's what I'm most excited about, like seeing because of like the way Faze played, like seeing where that takes Valorant competitive as they like add more characters to the roster.
Jet with some hard engage.
Not even hard engage, like characters that can do some kind of crazy utility to allow for that hard engage, like even characters that enable that hard engage.
Maybe Astra just came out right before this tournament kind of started, so like no one was comfortable on her. So, but her kid is kind of made to like sucking people in like a mini grav almost, like Zarya.
Yeah.
So like maybe like give it time. Maybe that's like a way to like counter the hyper aggro Jet plays or stuff like that. Or like the interview with Mummy that came out today, he was talking about there's like 2 types of team: the pop teams, kind of like the Faze and the hyper aggro, and somewhat Gen in some regards, and then like the more defaulty, it's like CS style.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting
during the I lost it. Go ahead.
It's going to be interesting to see like how far you can pull people out because I haven't played her yet, and I want to see if you can pull people out of corners and hit them if you have enough time. Like, or is it going to have to be like 2 people are going to have to set up on somebody on a corner to pull them out of position?
No, it's like a grenade.
No, what?
Kind of like
jiggle.
The Killjoy, the grenade? It's kind of like that, except it like pulls you to the center of it.
Yeah, but like when these kids are jiggle peeking on you and you have 2 on them, you just throw that and pull them out of position while they're fucking jiggle peek on you, and then your guy on the left picks them off. Like you might have to have 2 people for those plays, but it's going to be interesting to see. Like I forget what's the name of the map? What was the first map that they played? I forget what the name of that map is.
No, it was.
Yeah, maybe is it Ascent? Yeah, it's Ascent. That like on A, like the underneath, like when they're trapped there, you can like pull them out of position, or like when they're trying to engage on that spike too. Like it's good for like an engage. Like it's just interesting what that's gonna bring to the table, because there's not a lot of, other than like vision disruption and like, because there was like a couple things that I didn't even know you could do, like when Baby Bay like smoked the Sova,
The Sova
uh
dart.
yeah, the Sova dart,
Mm.
the recon dart. Like I didn't even know you could do that. There's a lot of interesting
Yeah,
stuff.
I remember what I was gonna say. Dapper was saying in the plat chat when he was watching on the co-stream that there's just so many like synergy plays with different heroes or agents or whatever that they didn't know. Like looking back at play like a year ago, like when Valorant first came out, like now this stuff is like second nature. So I think that's going to continue to evolve. So like Darren said, things are gonna change a lot with once they figure out more of those synergies and they become just commonplace in the meta.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just hope like they add more engage characters, or like ways to like break a good defense, because like there's a lot of the times where it's like I mean I guess they really didn't see it this round. Maybe it's like an older complaint. Like I'm gonna have to watch now that these, like you said, they're getting a handle on the play style. But I'm just like, I do like the faster paced gameplay that Faze brought to this tournament, and I hope that
Yeah, I was
doesn't
kind
go
of worried that
away.
Sentinels shut them
Yeah.
down
Yeah, that's what I'm
because
worried
like I want
about
that to
too.
become more
Yeah,
more prevalent.
I hope this like the speed of play is a lot faster now that that's like an option, and I hope they foster it too going
Yeah.
forward with
Well,
the
Yeah,
other
but
characters.
I do think I don't think that they like beat it by turtling up or anything like that. I think they brought a lot of aggression themselves to beat it. So I think it's just going to be good overall. But what do you think,
Yeah.
Jake?
Well, they did make it to the finals, so they
Yeah.
are clearly. There's some arguments to be
Yeah, well,
made.
what every other team? What are they going to be doing? Are they going to be looking to copy Phase? They're going to be looking
I
to
mean,
copy Sentinels, or like what are they, or develop their own thing?
Yeah, I think
Because
like
they're
that like it opens it up to like we can create our own play style, like that the fact that FaZe like pulled this off and made it all the way to finals with this like quote unquote not meta play style, it just like maybe other teams will like go back to the drawing board and think of other ways that they can
quote unquote
stand
not
out.
bitch made style.
I
Yeah.
mean, you have to have a good jet, and that's what it comes down to. It's like, does your team have a really good jet?
No, like not even
Um,
just the Jet, the whole team. They were just like fraggers all around. Like it doesn't matter what character you're playing if everyone's hitting their shots.
I don't know. They rely on Baby Bay to control parts of the map so that the rest of their team can engage and hopefully get a couple picks. Like
Yeah, but
you
like
saw,
the rest of the team they weren't bad at their 1v1s. Like the
yeah,
breakdown of the
definitely
stats
not.
after
But
round
they,
one,
but
it was like pretty close. Like the damage and the headshot damage, the accuracy, that it was like only like 0.5% off for most of
if
those
you
stats.
if you look at the games that they win, Baby Bay opens up a lot of the map in like the first couple seconds of the game so that they can move in. They're not the best, like what Jake was saying. Like when they get locked up with utility, they really don't have an engage plan past there. So it's like, is that nail in the coffin for this play style? And it's like, does it come down to like Jet is really the only one that can do that kind of play style where you can lock off? Like it worked really well. I think they like Ascent so much because they can put Baby Bay in between like go up the mid and control them from rotating, and kind of splits their team, and then they go to like A. You know what I'm saying? Like
well, Baby Bay was saying that like they were finding such success because it is like it plays off people's CS:GO tendencies, which so many of the players are from CS:GO, where it's like you shouldn't do that, that's crazy, and then it's like that means they're not expecting it, so like you just get win after win on the chaos, and just like by being in there, by pushing them so hard, and like what is this Jet doing here? Like
Yeah,
why am I?
like where I am doesn't matter if I kill you. Like like why are you here to kill you? Like it doesn't like
Yeah.
you can't get like stuck in there's only one type of way to play because like kids will bring something different and then you just look lost.
Well,
Yeah, and the analysts were saying that they kind of don't respect utility as much as other as a lot of the other players. So maybe they're just like no hard CC, like no brig stun or whatever. I'll just walk right through this. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And just shoot
I mean,
you. So
I mean that's funny though, because like their boy Zachary was like carrying them in a couple rounds with his utility alone. Like he was doing really well. What's the name of the map? The desert one. Blind.
I'm
He's
sorry,
been
they're
really
not
good.
using it, but
Yeah, no,
it's just
he
they're
had
not like afraid of it.
Who was it?
yeah
Breach he was playing?
yeah he's
Yeah,
been doing really well on Breach.
his flashes were crucial. Like that
Yeah.
set up so much engages for
Yeah.
them that they, without his timing on those, they would have
Yeah, multiple
lost.
time he hit multiple people with his Earth Shatter.
His ultimate he had huge, and it like that. That's another thing too. Like I like him for engages too because it throws off your vision a little bit, and it's like okay, like this is good. Like that's just a little bit of edge that like I feel like only pros are gonna get any value out of. Because like most of these
Yeah,
kids.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I just wouldn't write Faze off against Sentinels just yet. Like, I think they didn't really have the best game. Like, while I think Rockus and Zachary played really like above their standard all tournament, like I think if Corey and Marv came through a little harder, like Marv was a liability a lot of the times at the end there, and Corey just wasn't his usual like pop off self. And if they start performing better, that allows Baby Bay too. So I do think they could have played a much closer match than they did, like outside of that first round. So I think it's not a written book just yet.
Yeah,
Right.
and like both teams are taken from this tournament, and I'm sure they're going back to the drawing board, and they're gonna come correct next time. That being Faze.
Yeah, I think if the game went better, their first match went better, it would have been closer because they would have had more shit to learn from. Like it was just a total slaughter in the winners finals. So
Yeah,
like Zoms shut them down early, and then they couldn't get any momentum, so they just didn't have any time to get going.
yeah. Yeah, even though like
But
like that slaughter like sparked the whole like trash talk thing in the storylines I was talking about earlier, which I thought was like great throughout the whole tournament. Like they did the trash talk very well. I want to even like say tastefully, kind of like there was
I
like
knew you were gonna say.
there was like
Raise the
bagging.
glass, Jake.
Yeah, Jake, show the wine glass.
Why?
They were because I said
Taste-
tastefully.
Tasteful trash talk.
Ah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
just
they were
said-
like they were bagging and like spraying and like whenever they would get a kill, like blatantly disrespecting their team. But like the second the tournament ended, Baby Bay like congratulated Shazam and was like, "You guys are the best," and it was they left it in the game, and that was it. Like
well,
no harm done. It was fun, and it added to the experience for the
yeah.
game.
This goes back to like a different video. It's like about like what's important, the winning, or it's like creating storylines, and it shows like having this team. Yes, given that they're from a lot of them from Overwatch, being fans of Overwatch, like somewhat drawn to them already, but like having them being such strong personalities in the scene has made it a lot easier for people to come in like, oh, this is kind of cool. I want to root for them.
Yeah.
And you see that with other people on other teams. Sentinels has their group of guys. Envy is pretty personable with their roster and so on. So it's just like it's gonna make the scene a lot more entertaining and like allow people to attach on to a favorite player and then maybe a favorite team and whatnot. So which
Yeah.
Overwatch
Yeah.
does not have because there's nothing going on there.
Yeah. And like a lot of people were complaining about it, like in the chat, like people would be like, "Don't teabag," but like it's just good. Let them have fun. Like,
Yeah, they weren't really doing it a lot. Like
yeah.
there were a couple, but like I think maybe there were like 3 in the whole.
Get the
The
back
whole
counter
final.
in the
Get it.
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah.
The
But
shit-
yeah, I just wanted to talk about who impressed you guys the most. Like any standouts that you saw player wise,
I'm gonna start off with
besides
GMD.
Faze and Sentinels mostly.
Yeah, I'm just like
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
GMD on his Omen with Genji, I thought
Yeah.
had a fantastic performance. He's not up there with like the KD ratio of some of the other players, but his lurks and just like his information gathering were crucial to a lot of their wins and just like clutching out rounds and just like setting up this
A1
team.
creeping.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Yeah, Mikhail also on Genji had some
That's
really
what I was
clutch
gonna say.
moments. For like a Sova especially,
That's
like
what I was
I
gonna
thought he was
say.
going nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say Mikhail, but fucking, I'm gonna have to give it to Zachary, to be honest, because like at first me and Blake were dogging on him. We were like, oh, what is he doing when he was on the Killjoy? But then he switched to the Breach, and I was impressed with how he was able to just hit those big Earth Shatters or
Yeah,
Come
shooting
on.
people through the wall too.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like
He was
on
like he was trying to bring it back by himself.
he gets a lot of value out of Breach, but like when he plays other characters, I'm just not seeing it, to be honest. Like I don't know, maybe it was just bad showings of the games that I watched, because it was the only versus Sentinels that I watched those games, and I was like, ah, God, it's looking rough for my boy.
Yeah,
I think
But I
it
mean,
falls
people-
down to like the role on his team, because I think the breach just synergizes with their playstyle a lot better than the Killjoy. So I think he's just like one of the characters that looks like kind of like main tanks in Overwatch. Like if the team's not synergizing, they're gonna look even worse than normal.
Yeah, people were calling for his job like earlier in the tournament, but Baby was saying he's like kind of their guy who will pick up any character that's necessary. So I think long term he'll bring a lot of value to enabling whatever playstyle they want. Because I mean you saw he's hopping on, he's playing Omen, Breach, whatever. Like, so I think it's valuable, and he just pick him up in the grand finals too. Can low-key carry. So anyone else come up big? Hyun, the jet player for Gen G. I thought he was pretty cracked.
He had some off like there were some moments in the tournament he was just like cold and just non-existent.
Yeah, but the
But
highlight reel is there. So a lot of other people don't got the highlight reel. So
they got no sizzle, no sizzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, GMD also on Gen G, he had 188 kills,
Yeah,
which is
Oh,
I
yeah,
think,
we-
like, the most for a team that didn't go to the finals.
Yeah, we're on fantasy tab right now, just looking at who popped off.
Yeah.
Tens obviously was a nasty one.
yeah, so
10 sick and dabber top 3.
so kind of like we did an internal little Valorant test for this this tournament, and yeah, Tens was like the MVP. He had 201 kills with 139 deaths, so that's like a KD of like 1.45. And like we kind of ranked them based off kills, like the kills, deaths, stuff like that, and then
Yeah.
also
He had
incorporating
20 more first kills than first deaths.
yeah, so he was popping off along with some team stats, and so like the average score that we gave that these players earned, he was like more than double than the average. He hard carried.
Almost everybody on their team is like maybe 20 points above like everybody else on their team. Like their whole team is stacked.
Yeah.
Like you
And
look
that's what,
like
that's what we were saying when we were watching. We were like going through, Steve Blake and I, we were like, yeah, Faze is pretty good. They have like Baby Bay, Zachary's doing good. And then we were like thinking about the Sentinels, and we're like, Tens is good, Sick is good, Dapper's good. Like everyone is just like insane.
No weak link.
Yeah, there's no weak link.
Yeah, you look at even if you just look at their KPD, which is like maybe it doesn't mean a lot, but like it does, and it's like they're all positive. Every single one of them are positive.
Yeah, throughout the entire tournament.
Throughout the entire, yeah. But like even like you look too, like you have and Baby Bay does this too, where they're like plus like 22. So like they have so much economy that like even if they do lose a round, they can just eat it because they have the kills.
Yeah, you also have Mark the Bank.
Shout out to Food.
Yeah,
Mark
shout out
the
to
Bank.
Food. He's
Food,
eating. He's eating.
Food is out there eating, even though his team, all those losses, he's still like right after the big Sentinels guys and Baby Bay.
Hey, he's top 10.
Still
Yeah,
putting
he's
up
top
numbers.
10.
Yeah.
That KTD, man. That's what I'm saying. It's like crucial.
Yeah,
It's crucial. You get a lot of value. Like not dying is super important.
your boy Dre did pretty well as well. I didn't catch a lot of their games, but he individually he had a pretty good stat line. He had 142 kills, 136 deaths, almost 20 more. Oh, sorry, that's assist. But yeah, he popped off. He had a really good game compared. So he's like in the upper third of players performance wise. So
100 Thieves are let down.
Yeah.
Just fancy wise.
That was
Probably
the first
mid-tournament
game
as well,
I
but-
watched of last week was them getting shit on.
yeah, they they exited out early, so it's like
Yeah. I like beamed in and
Yeah,
I
they
was
got
like,
the
oh
upset
wow.
against. They got upset against Gen G, I guess. So
Yeah.
you done. Who I'm definitely interested in following. See how if they continue to, or if this was a one-off with
Yeah.
Genji.
Hang on, we gotta talk about my boys. Fucking
Marved?
no, fucking Immortals. Is it Immortals?
Yeah, what, Xset?
Do-
Are we talking
do we
about
have
to?
Xset
Fucking,
or
yeah.
Immortals? Oh my
Whirlpool?
god.
Yeah, Immortals with my boy Dwifo. No, sorry, Xset. Xset
No,
with my boy
that's Xset.
Dwifo. Yeah, Xset with my boy
Ooh.
Dwifo. Damn, boys. My whole fantasy team was revolved around them.
Riding on you.
Yeah.
Well, they came in like people weren't expecting much of them. Like they're definitely like one of the lowest rated teams going in, so expectations weren't high, but they were looking good before. They had some solid performances in Challengers 1 and 2. So, and before that, so they're like a fresher team compared to like Sentinels, TSM, and like Envy, who have kind of been like some mainstay rosters for the most part since for a while. So like
Yeah. Yeah, I came into this not really knowing Valorant players, so like when I saw everyone who was available, I went with my Fortnite boys, and they let me down. So,
They can't build a wall to block those bullets, my
They
boy.
came through.
Sage is in the game. What do you mean?
They just build that one wall every time.
Yeah. You
my
can't
boy on
build. You
Sage.
can't put him in a box. Yeah, all right. Put him in a box as Sage. I want to see it. I want to see you hard engage with the box.
No, the battle Sage. Give her the judge. I saw a bunch of people talking about that on Reddit. They were like, "Oh, these battle sages."
I forget
So-
who was playing. I think it was a Gen G game. I think it was I think it was Sean who was switching between like Reyna and Sage, and I think it was Icebox, where they did like a super aggressive like Sage wall to get up to like a balcony when they were defending.
Yeah.
And just like hard push. I forget who they were playing, but that was really cool. So
Yeah, I definitely learned a lot
remember that.
about a lot of different ways to use the utility like that, and like what Blake said with the fucking using the jet or like any smoke to cover the Sova arrow, so that way it doesn't scan. I learned a
Dude,
lot.
and
It's like
The
watching
places you can shoot the Sova
Yeah.
arrow too, like
Yeah.
they're huge.
out the map.
Out the map, yeah, some bullshit, or like through the windows, like
Yeah.
dude, this shit was wild. There was so much around like
Nice paneling you have there.
yeah, nah, they just had like God, I think it was I can't remember the names of these fucking maps. It was I think it was on Haven, where there's like little windows on B or on C, and you can just shoot through the windows and get the Sova arrow like so deep, rather than catching the corner. Like you can catch the whole courtyard, and that's huge for like quick info on that engage. Because like, is it worth it fucking going down this hallway when they have when they can shoot a missile at your whole team? No, usually not.
Yeah. Just final topic. I guess we all pretty impressed by this tournament. I'm excited for what is it, Masters 2 in Iceland, like first kind of big LAN, international LAN.
the volcano just
Who's-
erupted
who's,
the other day.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. The volcano has erupted. I don't think that's gonna impact it at all. But Riot has declared Iceland the COVID-free esports island for MSI and Masters. They're bringing everyone there to
I'd say this is
duke it out.
the one time the Riot based tournament where NA is going to have an actual shot, because it's not happening at MSI for whatever teams from LCS make it.
Man, they're all slogging for last place right now in the playoffs like, for League.
Looking bad.
Yeah, no, but I'll be excited to see like EU, NA, Korea, Brazil, just the best boys put on.
Mm-hmm. See which team, if any, can bring down Vision Strikers. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm not really hoping Sentinels get 10s for it, so it's full. No excuses.
So
all your boys.
do we revert the is it trash rating? Is it
Nope.
No. Blake still thinks it's trash.
No, I want to see. I just want to see them
Blake
implement
wants
a
to
couple
see-
things.
Blake wants to see 5v5 jet battles. That's what Blake.
Trash until further notice.
Look, yeah, trash until like this faster paced gameplay state for more than one tournament.
Until
Okay?
this is now the meta. Yeah.
Yeah, until that's actually a part of the meta, then like it can be other things. I just like I don't want it to go back to I'm falling asleep in my chair.
I move it from trash to meh.
Yeah, I'll give it a hard meh. I'll give it a hard
I'll
meh.
put out the fire on the dumpster fire. It's just a dumpster now.
It's not a hazard. It's just there.
Yeah. No chemical damage to the babies in the world. It's not no more burning plastic. All right, so I guess we'll continue to follow this. Give you our uninformed opinions as usual, because we know y'all love that. But like we said at the beginning, we're still experimenting with our fantasy formula for Fantasy Valorant, so we want to play test it a lot more. So if you're interested in participating in that, tell us in our Discord. I guess we'll give you a place to do that. I don't know, but
It'll be free.
Scream it into the Discord void.
It's free.
Yeah.
It'll be free. Maybe some prize money. We'll see. But yeah, we'll see you next time.
Wow, what a weak exit.